Christmas in Cairo looks surprisingly like Christmas in the West. Farouk and Magda Yusuf do good business selling imported decorations to fellow Egyptian Christians. But they no longer have a tree at home. They can't bear to, since their daughter Mary disappeared.
At Christmas, she was the one who used to decorate the tree. She used to give out the presents. For her, Christmas was a big thing.
One summer night 3 years ago, when Mary was 19, she went out for a pizza with friends and never came home. The next thing they knew, she was married to an older Muslim man they say she'd never met before. They're sure she was forcibly converted. But they say the state won't investigate, and officials may even support what happened because it's brought another soul to Islam.
Someone from state security said, once the issue is legitimised, you'll be able to see your daughter. I asked him what he meant. He said, when she has a baby. What he meant was that once she has a child, she wouldn't be able to leave. She'd be trapped forever.
Look at me. I'm dying inside. Jesus Christ gave me my daughter. He gave her to me, not to them.
In 3 years, they've seen their daughter just once. Coptic Christianity in Egypt is a faith much older than Islam. But many of its 8 million or so followers, a tenth of the population, feel increasingly beleaguered in an overwhelmingly Muslim society.
The government's to blame because education is Islamic. They force children to memorize the Quran. The media imposes Islamic ideas and traditions. And if a Muslim man harasses a Christian girl and she reports it at a police station, no action will be taken. The police will even harass her themselves.
His congregants believe the state turns a blind eye as Christian girls are kidnapped or lured into Muslim marriages. Monica, not her real name, too scared to show her face, says it happened to her 3 years ago after she was tricked into taking a lift.
On the 17th of August, they declared me a Muslim, and a couple of days later a marriage contract was drawn up in a car. I refused to sign or give a thumbprint. Then I was taken to a flat. One of the men there, a sheikh, tied me up and...
She can't bring herself to say that she was raped, but she does describe the consequence.
They took me to a hospital as I was bleeding severely.
The church has built new lives for scores of young women like Monica. It believes they're victims of a well-funded campaign by shadowy Muslim groups to bring girls to Islam. Attempts to investigate usually meet a wall of silence or denial. Alleged victims say they're afraid to confront or name perpetrators. In fact, some stories probably hide a shameful romance between a Christian girl and a Muslim boy. But all the alleged victims are now trapped because regardless of why a Christian left his or her faith, the state makes it almost impossible for them to return. Conversion to Islam is easy, but thousands of Egyptians who've converted to Christianity or reverted to it are refused permission to register as Christians on their ID cards, where religion must be stated. And that can ruin a life.
I can't go to any government office because my papers say I'm still a Muslim. That means I cannot marry a Christian like myself, because I would not be allowed to register the marriage. And if I had children, I wouldn't be allowed to register them as Christians either.
Rubbish is the stock in trade of many of Monica's fellow congregants. Sorting it and recycling it is an overwhelmingly Christian occupation. Not all Copts are at the bottom of the social heap, but very few have top jobs in state institutions. Many say that's because of official discrimination. The Egyptian state has no love of radical Islamic groups. It cracked down hard on the Muslim Brotherhood to prevent it winning seats in the recent elections. It's afraid of sectarian violence. But with religious passions growing in society, the government seems unable or unwilling to fully protect the Christian minority. The state denies any discrimination. It says official connivance in forced marriage is very rare and is punished. The Constitution guarantees that all citizens are equal, and government supporters say that that is not contradicted by another clause that makes Islamic Sharia the main source of all law.
Maybe the state itself doesn't initiate Islamization, but it keeps its eyes shut in front of a strong Islamization trend which invades the society.
Last month, in the name of public order, police fired live ammunition to disperse Christians protesting at the demolition of an unsanctioned church. 2 were killed. The law makes it much harder to build a church than a mosque, although the government says that will eventually change. Copts, who still worship in the language of ancient Egypt, are fiercely patriotic. But to be Egyptian without being Muslim gets ever harder.